So what's this podcast called again?
This podcast is called Shack Out Back, I do believe, right?
Shack Out Back.
Shack
I
Out
do
Back.
like that name. I like the rhyming.
Or is it The Shack Out Back? I forget
All right.
which one.
You're gonna decide, Dan, because you're doing all the socials and the posting and stuff. So is it Shack in the back? Shack Out Back?
We could do a
What is
William
it?
Shatner themed podcast.
Shat Out Back.
Shat Out Back. Or we
I
could
like
do
that.
Shack Out Back, Shaquille O'Neal themed podcast.
SHAQ, yeah, that'd be good too. I like
was
that.
it? Was it Shack Out Back?
Check our messages, because I don't remember.
Is
I
our-
think it was Shack in the Back. I think that's what it was.
Let me see. I'll look.
Scroll through the 100 memes and stuff that we've been posting to one another about Dark Souls 2, because that well still hasn't dried.
Every day I see more.
Have you seen the all the stuff they're still finding in Dark Souls 2? They found the proto gutter, and it looks really cool.
The Proto Gutter DS2.
Find that fucking name first. We're recording.
I am, but it's not searching properly. I think it was like the Shack Out Back or Shack Out Back. Shack Out Back, yeah, you said it. I quote, Shack Out Back is really funny. Let's do it.
Shack Out Back, okay. So this is Shack Out Back, episode 1, Spelunky 2, and other radical roguelites.
Yes. That's what we've been playing.
You did the subtext, I think, to that.
Yeah, I think so. You've been playing a lot more Spelunky 2 than me, though.
I think I have like 15 or something, because I've just been like sitting and like playing it. Because
Yeah, I have 5 hours.
I often enjoy roguelites, especially this one. I found that this one's really easy to like. Okay, I play it for like 20-30 minutes, I die 17 or 18 times, and then I'm just ready to go do something else.
Yeah, you have 14 hours. You have achievements that
Really?
I can't even see. Hidden achievement.
I think I've done like, I've opened some shortcuts, and I've gotten to like the second last level,
Yeah.
and I've done a bunch of stuff, but I don't know. How are you feeling about the game, Dan?
I like it a lot.
I've never played the first one.
No,
so
me
how does it
neither.
compare to that?
No, I never played the first one.
You've never
either.
played it
My brother played it a lot, and I watched him play it a ton when I was younger, and I watched Northern Line play it a ton, but I've never played the first one. Yeah, like I knew generally how it went. It was like the forest or whatever, and you got to Olmec's head, and there was a secret boss, and the vampires in the corners and stuff. But I haven't even seen Olmec in this one at all. I think I've only gotten
No?
to.
I think he's the boss of like.
Is he
4-1
4
or something?
Yeah, no, I've only gotten to. I've gotten to the end of the jungle. So whatever that
The
is.
jungle?
Is that just like 2?
That's the jungle's 2.
And then
So that
the
would be-
lava's 3, or are they both 2?
They're both 2, because did this happen in the other game where they had like branching paths of what level you could choose?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain they did.
I think that's really interesting. That like I've unlocked all those shortcuts, so I've kind of been like playing the levels by themselves. But I'm trying to do one of those runs where you go through the whole thing at once, like
Yeah.
a Northern Lion-esque sort of thing. And yeah, I like that choice where I'm just like, oh, I'm not feeling the fucking like pits of lava that will instantly kill me today. Let's try the other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you said, even like your second or third hour, you said to me, the forest is harder. Mark my words, the jungle's harder.
I
So,
think the
like,
jungle is harder.
Is it
Because there's
long
more
enough since it's released that like people have just like
There's a meta to
yeah,
it? I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
like the jungle is just harder.
I find the lava levels like, because there's lots of like bugs to jump on that just go up and down and a lot of stuff like that. I find it easier.
Yeah.
Like, I rarely like fall in lava in that level and stuff. It's just the later ones. Like there's like a kabuki fucking water level.
Yeah,
that's
see, no,
kind of hard.
I haven't seen that at all.
And there's the ice caves, which I think were in the first game too, that I've
Yes,
been through.
I
And
knew
there-
the ice
and
caves
there's,
were.
like-
Do they have UFOs in them still?
Yes.
Yes.
And like yetis and stuff. And there's like a what's it called? The last level is like, I don't know if you care about spoilers. Spoilers.
don't
It's
care.
like Eldritch Egyptian kind of theme. That's the theme I got from it anyway. Like,
Oh, yeah, is there a big
Mesopotamia
Anubis?
space. No, there's an Anubis in the Egypt one. I think that
Okay.
one's like 4-1 as well, with the Kabuki water level.
Yeah, okay, so I'm liking it a lot. I'm liking it a lot. Like, I don't really buy games full price anymore, but I got it, I think I got it day 1 or 2.
Day 1?
Yeah,
I got it-
I think so.
a week after it came out. I think it was like 10% off, so it was like just
Yeah,
around
it was like 20
20
bucks.
CAD. That's
Yeah,
when I picked that up.
it's
I'm
like
like, yeah,
nothing.
I'll play that. And I've put 15 hours in it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't like the argument that like when people play a game,
the dollar
and
an
they put,
hour
like,
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
and
I
they
hate
put
that
like
too.
yeah, and so if someone puts like, it's like all those people who were like played Fallout 4 and they were like, oh, I've only put 650 hours in this game compared to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, where I put 1,000 hours each. Bad game, 0 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I've never been. I think I was when I was younger. I was like, oh, a game's good if it's a dollar an hour. Look at GTA 5, look at GTA 4, and stuff like that. But no, it's stupid. Ever since, like, anytime I think of that, I think of Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's literally 45 minutes long, and I've played it multiple times and shown people it, and it was like 20 bucks, and I think it's amazing.
I appreciate, now that I'm older, I appreciate like a shorter game that has
Yeah,
like better,
actual game.
that's like at high the whole time. It doesn't go up and down and up and down. Like I played Journey this year and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons as well, and that was really fucking good too. And they're both like under 2 hour games.
Yeah.
They're fucking great.
Was that the first time you ever played Journey?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
really?
played it once.
Wow. Did you ever play? What was the other one? They made the really early one. Did you ever? I think it was called
Abzu?
Not even Abzu. I think it was called Flower. I'm pretty sure they made Flower too.
Yeah, I haven't played that either. I only played Journey because they made it free for what's it called? For the pandemic on PSN.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Spelunky compares to like other roguelites you've played? Because I haven't played too much. Because I remember
I'm a roguelite man.
it was like 8 years ago when I played Rogue Legacy at a friend's house, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Wow, I fucking hate this game," and then I didn't play them for a
No,
long
I
time.
didn't like Rogue Legacy either. Like okay, so I've put in a lot of hours in the Binding of Isaac. Like not as much as like northern like people that play it on stream or people that play it for YouTube videos or anything, but I've
Who have
put
like 4,000 hours. in
yeah,
it.
like I've put 500 hours into Binding of Isaac, so
That's pretty good.
I've put in a lot of hours.
I've heard that game is like a lot of people's go-to, where they're like, I just have like 20 minutes to chill, I'm gonna play
Yeah,
Isaac, and I'm doing
play it instantly. It's getting a huge update or a huge DLC in December of 2020, I believe. I think it's called
Really?
Repentance or Repentance. You're a church guy, you'd know how to say that.
Well, send it to me. And I'll see
Repentance, like church.
Repentance.
Yeah, Repentance. It's getting that in December, which has been talked about for a long time, and it's apparently adding in like a lot of content. So I'll probably pop that. I don't even have Isaac installed right now, but it takes like 1 second to install it, and it's real fun. But
That's Edmund McMillan made that game, right?
Yeah.
The guy who did Super Meat Boy.
he did
That's
Super
interesting.
Meat Boy, and one of his earlier ones that I remember was Spewer. I think Edmund McMillan did Spewer.
Wasn't there a game that he made that was like fucking kill the baby or something, like dead baby dress up or something like that?
Probably. Yeah, Spewer. Do you know what Spewer is?
No.
Spewer was a flash game that you were a little blob and you could suck up liquid and puke it out, and you could like project yourself with your puke and stuff. You could like fly through the air.
I miss those days where you could just like be like 10 or 11 or 12 and I'd go on Newgrounds at fucking school and just play like random ass shit.
Yeah, he's
I
made a
miss
lot of
like
stuff
that.
I really like. There was another one that I'm forgetting the name of because it's baked into my memory. You were like a little kid riding a thing with a really long tongue, and you could shoot it out into the atmosphere and swing around planets. And I think it was called Ether or Aether maybe.
Aether?
Yeah,
That sounds
I
interesting.
think that's what it was. That was a fun little thing. That was weird. I remember that as being a game. I don't know if it had an ending. I'm sure it did, but I was young. I was too young to like even know. But it just felt really weird to me. I was like, this is a weird video game. Yeah, other roguelites though. What have you been playing? Like, do you
What do you
play
mean,
many
roguelites
roguelites?
in general?
Yeah, in general.
I played Gungeon.
Yes,
And
you were good
I
at
put
Gungeon.
a
I
lot.
remember you were very good at Gungeon.
Shut up. I put a lot of time into Gungeon, and I wasn't very good at it. I put like 50 hours or some god-awful thing into it, and I never beat the game. And then you came over to do something and beat the game in front of me and kill the dragon, and I was very
was good.
disappointed in myself.
Like,
I don't know. I think that I just needed the right genre of roguelike
Yeah.
to play, because I played that, and I've just discovered that I really just suck at twin stick shooters. Like, they are not my jam.
I have a thing for twin stick shooters, but yeah, no, I'm just looking at Gungeon too. I only have 80 hours into it, which like is a lot. Like that would be a lot now because I'm in school and like I'm doing stuff. But when I was in like
Yeah.
grade 8, 9, 10, like high school and stuff, 80 hours is like nothing. You could bang out 80 hours in like a couple weeks easily.
I think it's the difference between like I think I've heard this described before. It's like you're young and you don't have time, or you don't have the money to play lots of games, so
You
you
just
dump
play,
a lot of
yeah,
time in like one or two games.
yeah, I feel
And
that.
then you're like older, and then you're like, oh, I have all this money and I have a bunch of games, but I don't have time to play them. And then you're even older, and you're like, I have no energy to play all these fucking games that I have. I think
Yeah,
that's like a rule to most things, but especially in the context of video games, it
yeah,
rings true.
I'm feeling it. Yeah, like I really liked Gungeon. I would get back into it, but the one thing that really did it for me, and I know they fixed it to an extent, like you can save at every floor now, I believe. You can like put yourself in a
Really?
cryogenic thing and save. But I remember when that wasn't a thing, and it was a pain in the ass because those runs are long. Like
Yes, they
they
are.
can be 45 minutes plus easily.
That's that's part of the frustration with me in Gungeon was that like I would spend all this fucking time going through this run that took like 45 minutes and then I would die.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was very annoying. That's why I like Spelunky, is because like a full run only takes like 10 minutes or something. It
yeah,
takes like no time at all.
yeah. It's good.
It's great. And then you can start up like right back again. Like you could die for something stupid and be like, "Oh well." It doesn't frustrate me as much. It
No,
doesn't feel
not
like
at
I
all.
invested as much time and energy into like a run.
Yeah,
As a
no.
result, I think that I'll actually finish it sooner. Like I probably won't dump another 50 hours in this and be able to finish it. It'll probably be like after 25 or 30 hour mark that I'll be able to finish it.
Yeah,
Unlike Gungeon, where I dunked like 50 hours in and never fucking finished the game.
yeah. Like I've played in the last year quite a few roguelites. I tried
What are some What are some
like
other examples of stuff you played?
did you play Slay the Spire at all? Yeah, I think you played.
No,
Oh, really? You didn't play Slay the
no.
Spire? Slay the Spire was really, really, really good. Played that a lot. I never got into FTL. I don't really. I've never been a huge fan of that company's games. I forget what they're called, but they also
What else did they
did
make?
Into the Breach. They made it.
Oh,
What are their names? But no, I never liked Into the Breach or Subset Games as the developer. But it got a ton of reviews. Game Best Strategy Game, the BAFTA Games Award for Original Properties.
it's old now, isn't it? Isn't it almost like 8 or 9 years old now?
Into the
When did it
Breach
come
is
out?
2. FTL is older though. FTL is probably 2011 if I
Yeah, I
had to
remember being in high
guess.
school and people talking about that a lot.
Yeah, let me see. 2012, 2012. So yeah, FTL is 8 years old now. But
That's
I've
crazy.
also played a ton of, just came out kind of recently, Monster Train. I played a lot of Monster
I
Train.
have no idea what that game is
Monster
either.
Train's really good. It's another roguelite card, like a roguelite deck builder. That's like 2020's
Oh, you know
survival
what? I think I
crafting
have
game.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems interesting. That's another like I like these like because really with roguelite you can if it's done well you can like mix whatever genre you
Yeah.
want in it. Like deck building sounds like a very good option to do that. How's the like turnaround for that too? Like how long does a run take and stuff?
Let me see. Monster Train wasn't very long. It was definitely under an hour, 45, 30 minutes maybe. Quicker if you were quicker at it, 'cause you could get really quick at picking what cards you wanted and just knowing what to do. And it also had auto speed up things, so you didn't have to watch battle animations and anything like
Awesome.
that.
Yes. I love that like because you can do that in lots of CRPGs too. I
Hmm.
think you can do that in fucking what's that stupid Blizzard card game that I used to play? What's that called?
Hearthstone, yeah,
They had that in
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone too.
Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting.
big huge one that I wanted to wait to talk about because it's so good, and I like it more than Spelunky 2, but I think it's probably my game of the year. Is Hades.
Yes, I do
Hades.
want to get
Oh,
that.
Hades is so good.
I wanna play Transistor and Bastion and
Oh
stuff before I
yeah,
play
that
that.
I think Devolver or not Devolver Digital. What the fuck am I saying? God damn it! I know their names because I play every single one of their games.
Supergiant games.
Supergiant, yeah, I should know that. Supergiant is my favorite publisher, bar none. I've played all their stuff. Bastion, I've played a couple times.
I told you the story of like how I played Bastion for 30 minutes and then PlayStation took it away from me. Did I tell you that story?
I don't think so.
I bought so I bought a bunch of stuff on like a summer sale or something
Yeah.
last year or the year before, and I put in my credit card and I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought that. I bought Bastion. I bought like Resident Evil remake and a bunch of stuff. I was playing Bastion and Gungeon and stuff, and then all of a sudden PSN was like, "Nope, you didn't buy them," and then took them all off my hard drive. And then when they did that, the sale was over, so I couldn't buy them again.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah,
That sounds like it
I was
went well.
mad. It seemed like a fun game from the 30 minutes that I played.
It's good. It's not a long game either. Like
No,
I think it's longer than I think it is, but I've played it, let's say 3 times, and I have 17 hours into it. So maybe two and a
I
half.
think it has
times.
multiple endings and stuff too.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it does. It does a little bit, and it has a lot of extra challenges you can go through, and it's also got a little bit of exploration, but not a ton. It's enough that it's like not a chore to explore the levels basically to its entirety.
I'm trying to think about what other roguelites that I've played that I've really enjoyed.
I was kind of looking up a big list to see if I know any, because yeah, Rogue Legacy I never got in a huge amount. Have you ever tried
No,
Dwarf
and
Fortress?
I did
Yeah.
at someone's house, like when it came out,
Oh
like
God.
8 years ago or something. Yeah, the thing is that I tried a lot of these games when I was in high school and I didn't like them.
Yeah.
Because of just what the genres were. And I had seen people play Spelunky and stuff too, but I just never got into it. And then I played, because I never shut the fuck up about this game. I played Nightmare Reaper.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted you to talk about Nightmare Reaper because how much you talk about it, it seems like it should get a lot more publication.
Nightmare Reaper, I think, so I finished my PC rig, like, the beginning of this year. You helped me fix it up, and I got some of your old parts and stuff. And the two games I bought when I got my rig that I didn't have already were Dusk and Nightmare Reaper, and I put, like, tons of time in both of them. I think I have like 20 hours or something in Dusk, and I think I have less time in Nightmare Reaper.
Yeah.
And I haven't played in a few months, but like the most quality experiences I've had on PC, because I've played like AAA stuff, I've played Tomb Raider, and I know we went through like Remnant together and stuff. Remnant from the Ashes we played together, and a couple other things.
Yeah.
And I tried some multiplayer shooters and stuff. Dusk and Nightmare Reaper are the best games I played when I bought them. Like, I have zero fucking regrets, and I will put even more time on them when they get updated. Because Nightmare Reaper's not done either.
Oh, really? Is it in early access?
Yeah, it is. It's chapter-based, too. So I
Oh.
just played the first chapter, and the second chapter is coming out in Halloween. And the reason why I like Nightmare Reaper, which it kind of like contrasts with Spelunky a lot, that's why I think it's like a good thing to talk about, is that Nightmare Reaper has a lot of like, there's a skill tree, and you pick up resources when you finish levels, and you can spend the resources on skills, and you can get different weapons and pick them up in the level and stuff like that.
Do you start every single run with nothing, or do you regain?
You can start every run with one gun that you can carry over, but that's it. And you can
It's like
also
skills
do the
and
skill
stuff?
tree. No, skill tree you can do outside the levels, so you can make your character stronger and stuff, and then go on the levels and keep all those skills and stuff.
Okay.
Like, you can do like a dash and a double jump and like a bunch of other stuff too, like jump higher and move faster and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to get it because I remember it was on sale when I was looking at it, but I didn't want to have another kind of roguelite in my or roguelike in my library right now because I'm just working on Spelunky 2 and Hades a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I would say it's one of those games that if you like FPS, because it's an FPS roguelite, like it's Doomish, it's Duskish. Like, if you like games like that, you like boomer shooters, then it's a no-brainer pickup because
Yeah.
I've dumped so much time into it. And it's cool. It has like weird story beats and stuff you unlock by doing more levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the premise is awesome. You're like a lady in an insane asylum and you're killing demons in your dreams. Like, it's fucking just cool.
Yeah, like there's a story to it. Like there's a single player, well, I guess, yeah, single player story type of thing, and then yeah, it's definitely a neat little mix up. But you'd probably like Hades. Hades is really quick runs.
I know I would. And like it's so beautiful. It has a great art style. It looks like it has great mechanics and stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
I need to pick it up.
It's same
Does
type
it have
of
a lot
thing.
of Does it have a lot of persistent stuff you can carry between levels, like modifiers and stuff like that?
So not really. So if I remember talking about it, I think the difference, because I looked it up before this, roguelite and roguelike.
Do you know who I think
What?
distinguished between the two? Because I remember hearing about it. It was on a fucking
Yeah.
co-optional podcast with Total Biscuit, and I think he was such a pedantic fuck. I think he came up with the term roguelite.
Yeah.
I think he's the one who came up with
Because
it.
I believe one of them describes stuff that carries over, and one of them describes like the real Rogue game in the 80s or 70s or whenever that came out. where it's
Yeah.
just fully
That's
every
just
single
like
time is
get
literally
fucked.
completely different.
Yeah.
But no, it's not got. I don't. Okay, so how it works is you're Zagreus, you're whatever, the Prince of Hades or the Son of Hades. You have to escape the underworld, so you go through Tartarus and Asphodel and Elysium, and there's basically just 3 different bosses and then a 4th one. But you pick your weapon before you go into a run. I think there's 7 or 8, 6 or 7 right now maybe, but I have a feeling they're gonna add more in updates, or they don't. I've never really seen them do DLC, but maybe. Yeah, so I've had it since before Charon had an actual model, because I remember when all the gods were kind of blurry smoke, like lots of them didn't have models. Yeah, like Charon had art that wasn't finished. It was just he wasn't a black cloud of smoke. He had art, but it wasn't really anything. It was just kind of a dude with a cloak on.
Just like a filler sort of.
Yeah,
How long
just
have you
filler
had that
art.
game for?
Well, if I looked up update history, I've had it for enough to get 60 hours into it, so
Because I remember you talking about it a long time
yeah,
ago.
I've had it for
maybe
a
even before
while.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have got it around then because it came out 1.0. Like it came out long enough ago that there wasn't an achievement list, obviously, because it was 1.0. And then some of the achievements I have, I'm just looking at, are like 3% of players have it, 4% of players have it.
It seems that they like just apply their very specific arts. Well, I guess they
Oh
vary
yeah,
the art
it's
style.
it's well, it's isometric. It's isometric.
Isometric. Yeah.
It's the same. Like there's the same dash that's in this. Pyre uses the same type of dash. It feels almost identical in some of the faster characters in Pyre. Same with Transistor. Some of the weapons feel very, very similar. And then I think in all their games they really like doing it the perfect mechanic where you're doing a bow or like a gun or anything, and there's a specific time window that you get like a perfect shot. It's a critical
Oh,
hit.
it's
They love doing that stuff.
like a Bloodborne parry or something.
Yeah, like it's on the bow in this game. If you time it perfectly while it's charging up, it does a lot more damage and shoots further, and I think flies faster. But they've done that in Bastion too. I think it was on the same thing, the bow. But it reminds me a lot of those games.
Well, it seems like genre-wise, like, are the games that different? Because they all seem to be like isometric, like story-based combat games. Like, is it? Because you've played them all.
They're completely different.
Are they?
Oh
Okay.
god, yeah, they're like night and day. Like Bastion was an isometric. Bastion's probably 2020. Bastion's probably 12 years old, I bet. Bastion was on like
Yeah.
Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, that's where it came out, I think.
Yeah, it's probably, I'm saying 2008 off the top of my head. Oh, 2011. It's only 9 years. Really? I guess that's still a long time, eh? 2011. That's XBLA.
9 years now. We're getting old, Dan.
Yeah. That's yeah, so Bastion came out and then Transistor, then Pyre, and then Hades. But Bastion was just an isometric action game, I guess. Action role playing, I guess. Because there is a lot of role playing if you want to dive into it. There's a lot of post game stuff you can do and make the game a lot more challenging for yourself. And then Transistor came out a few years after, if I remember. And Transistor it's a weird one to describe because it was an isometric action RPG, same type of thing, but it had like not a coding element, I guess almost like a drag and drop coding element. You could pause.
Was it like a hacking thing or something?
Kind of, yeah. You could pause time in battles and you could enter in moves and input in attack sequences like it was drag and drop scratch coding, and then if you clicked enter they would all sort of run through, and it was really stylized like coding. It used like names were with semicolons and asterisks and stuff like that.
What would you say is the most like, which game is the most like similar to Hades in terms of like combat?
Probably the weapons and stuff of Bastion, but probably the speed of Pyre more so. Transistor was my least favorite. I still really liked it, but it was definitely my least favorite. I found like a pretty overpowered combination of weapons, because the other cool thing was every weapon, you got a few of them, but you could mix and match. Like the sword would have 2 little options that you could input, like the bow's power and the heart power or whatever, and it would modify it.
In Hades, is there like different modifiers and stuff you can pick up during a run?
Yeah, God, yeah. So let me Pyre real quick. Pyre was basically a football-esque sports RPG game. Pyre's definitely the weirdest one. I don't think Pyre sold insanely well, but it's got a really dedicated fan base, and I really liked it, and I didn't think I would. Yeah, Pyre's Wikipedia calls everything action role-playing games. It
Oh.
was a sports game. It was very, very clearly a sports game, and you had all these outcasts and stuff, and you made a
Oh,
team and
it's
you would
like
go through
a. Oh, I
tournaments.
see.
It's really good. I liked Pyre, and I didn't
It
think I
just seems
would.
that they do a very good job of like being like, okay, we have this art style and we have this sort of vibe that we
Yeah.
have of our studio. Let's just apply it to something like a sports game. I didn't know
Yeah.
Fire was based off a
No,
sports game.
Pyre's like a mix between football-esque and soccer, I guess, more so, because you can tackle people and they can respawn and you can toss the ball around, and every person has different attributes. The small guys have a larger or a smaller aura, so they're not very good at hitting people, but they're really quick at jumping over things and running around, and everyone has stamina.
Yeah.
I'd definitely play Pyre in an instant. They also did something really cool at the end where it generates a customized-esque, but it generates a song based on your playthrough from all of these different options, and it plays it for you. So
That's cool.
that took a lot of work apparently. There's a lot of really good documentary series on YouTube by a company called NoClip that does a lot of stuff.
I saw some of the thumbnails for NoClip too.
They
I
work
didn't
with
watch them because
Supergiant a lot. There's a lot of good stuff for them. But yeah, Hades works as you pick a weapon, you go into the run, and then all the different roguelite upgrades essentially are different boons from the gods. So there's not all of them obviously, but there's all the main ones that you'd think of. There's like Dionysus and Hermes and Athena and
yeah.
Poseidon and Zeus and all those people. You essentially get upgrades for them, and they can be upgrades to dashes or sword attacks or everything.
Do you think that then like there is not a genre that can be like that roguelite, like rogue-esque elements don't go well with? Like, you know, I said that I'm really like Spelunky, which is like an action platformer, and then it's like an action isometric game. And I was talking about Nightmare Reaper, which is a
completely
fucking
different
shooter.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Do you think that there's like a genre that wouldn't go well with roguelite options?
Is there a roguelite, just off the top of my head, I'm sure there is. Is there a roguelite racing game?
Oh my god.
Is
How would that even work?
Thing? Roguelite
like
racing game. I don't think there is, because...
Well, what would be the like
Yeah.
stuff? What would be the stuff you would like leave behind between different runs? Would it be like, because the only thing I can think of is like cosmetics. There's a lot of thing to do with racing games. Is like I want to drive
and stuff.
I want to drive the Ferrari over this track and beat all the guys.
The thing is, I feel like it wouldn't have to be a standard racing game, because all racing is getting best times, and in roguelites it would just be, I'm sure it would work down to just faster, better, like, how do you describe it? There's only one path to get a better car per se in a game like that. It would just be faster, better handling. I feel like you'd have to do something with combat in a car.
Yeah.
Or
what about those games that are like you smash cars together? Like, you ever seen those games where it's just like a big like cement pit, which are like cars crashing into one another?
Yeah. I feel like it'd have to be something
roguelite.
like that. But no, I'd really, really suggest to get Hades. I think easily worth full price, but it's like only $20 or something, $25 maybe now that it's fully released. But
I will
it's
say
ridiculous.
that like
$28. Yeah, it's stupid.
I thought I would buy like a lot of like AAA games when I got my rig set up, but like I'm gonna go to my library right now, and I bought like New Blood stuff, like old shit like Blood and like Doom 64,
I should get Blood.
The Long Dark, Postal 2, The Rise of the Triad remake. Like, I'm not playing a lot of AAA stuff. I just don't find it interesting. Especially just to play on PC right now. I played a lot of New Vegas again, but I mean that was just me because I play New Vegas nonstop. But
yeah, I mean, what are you playing through right now besides
Persona 5?
Oh yeah, you said you're 80 hours into it again or something like that.
I'm 88 hours into that game. So I have 2 part-time jobs. One of them makes me money, and one of them is Persona 5. It just
that's the newest one, right, with Joker and stuff. Yeah,
I have the Persona 5 Royale, which is like the updated edition too. So it takes even longer to beat them. But usually I don't like JRPGs that much. But I don't know, it's just something about Persona clicked with me. But
yeah, you're not. You're definitely not a JRPG anime type of person.
No, I'm not. You talking about playing Xenochronicles X or whatever the fuck you played a couple years ago, it made me want to
That was a good one. That was a good one. You got the tutorials right until the end. There was a tutorial right in the last room of that game that taught you how to use another mechanic, and I went,
was it
that's
like
Xenoblade.
a big gun you shot the boss in the face with?
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember it. Last tutorial. Let me see if I can even find it anywhere.
I think a JRPG roguelite would be fun. You spend 150 hours grinding, and then you die, and then you lose everything and have to do it again.
Yeah. So there's forum posts about it. Really, final chapter. It's time for the last tutorial before you finish the game.
I just saw like cinematics from that, like characters talking, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna play that.
And if I remember, the tutorial was something that it didn't really teach you, but you could do it. Like I remember getting the tutorial for it and being like, I've been doing this for like 2 or 3 chapters now with like twin drivers and stuff. It was a good game, mark my words, and it has some very, very attractive anime women in it.
I'm glad for you, Dan. I'm very glad.
Thanks.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about Persona 5, we're getting off the topic here, but is all that, like, creepy ass shit that's in it.
The one time that I sat down and watched you play, it was something about the teacher was a maid coming to your house.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Your homeroom teacher was moonlighting as, like, a massage prostitute
Yes.
in Japan to make money for this couple whose kid died or something, and you could, like, date your teacher. Like, I don't like stuff like that too much. Roguelite dating simulator where you pick the wrong
That's
date and
another
she kills
thing.
you.
Is that something? Racing is the only one that kind of stuck out to me. I'm sure there's a roguelite dating simulator. It's probably like one of the hentai games or something.
Do you think something like Dark Souls or Sekiro or something could like borrow some of those ideas, because they are pretty punishing games and you do lose stuff from dying and stuff?
I'd play a roguelite with Sekiro's combat.
Yeah, I mean, like, Souls combat is just good in general. I wish there were more games with it. Because we played Remnant, and, like...
Remnant was good. I guess Remnant isn't a
Remnant
roguelite at all, but it's...
No. It has a lot of the same sort of punishing, like, attributes, like you lose, like...
Yeah, but it's not punishing in the right way.
No, I feel like when we played it, you heard me. This was like the only time...
That was the angriest I've ever seen you in any form of anything relating to video games or not.
Yeah, so, like, I think I scared you, too, because I remember you got really quiet. We were, like, beating this boss, and,
it was
Remnant
the butterfly.
Remnant from the Ashes is a game that's like a Dark Souls game, except it has wide open areas, not a lot of level design, and it's, like, shooting instead of
I do remember that about it, too. Excellent.
But, we were, like, fighting this butterfly, and I wasn't understanding part of the fight. I will give it that I didn't understand part of it, but, like, we just kept dying and dying, and, like, I got so fucking mad. I was, like, slamming my keyboard and screaming and shit. I remember, like, I've never been that mad before. Maybe there shouldn't be a Dark Souls roguelite game, because I probably would do that.
Dead Cells is, I think every game's been compared to Dark Souls, but I think Dead Cells has been compared a lot to Dark Souls, and I never have bought Dead Cells for some reason, because I think every time I've looked at it, I've been like, I have another thing installed in my library, and I don't want to, like, buy it and then give one. But no, I'm literally sure I'd love Dead Cells. It looks very good. I like the art style a lot, and I like how it's good pixel art. It's not just pixel art for the sake of pixel art. It, like, actually looks really good, and they didn't skimp out on backgrounds and
what do you think some of the core tenets of, like, a roguelite game are? Like, just like you have to play the game through multiple runs, and it's punishing and stuff like that.
I think punishing is a big one. I'm just kind of thinking of it now, but I feel like a huge thing with roguelites is just a unique art style, because it's usually not AAA studios doing it, so they also have to kind of
distinguish themselves.
Yeah, that's the word, distinguish themselves, because everything that I've seen, like, Spelunky 2 is vastly different than Isaac, which is vastly different than Hades and
they all are, like, very fucking distinct. Like, Hades looks completely different than Isaac. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, like, Hades can be a twin stick shooter, kind of, if you want to use the bow or the gun almost, but it's really quick. Hades runs can take, I think my quickest was 22 minutes with the sword, but you can get it down really, really quick.
Super extra XX Gaming channel posting their video where it's like, Hades beaten in under 8 minutes.
But I'm not huge. I'm good at Hades, I think. Like I mostly win every time unless something catastrophic happens. But I'm not playing on the hardest. There's difficulties to your run essentially after you beat the final boss. I'm not going to say much about it because it is new enough that like people are learning it and still seeing it for the first time. So before you beat the final boss, after you beat it the first time, essentially there's heat you can add to your run. It's called heat, and it's like
Is it
more.
like speed?
It's like speed. It can be enemy speed. It can be enemies do more damage. You have less
Oh,
health. Things in
that's
the
cool.
shop cost more. To the really tough ones that are like
Half health.
every single level you have to give away one of your abilities, or
Everything one shots you.
just insane stuff. Every enemy has a ghost that attacks you. Every enemy has a shield. Just really tough stuff like that.
That's really cool stuff to keep people invested and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and you get more bonuses the more heat you go on. So if you win a run with one heat, and then if you try and do it again with one heat, you don't get any extras. But if you add 2 heat, you do, and then 3. So it incentivizes you to keep trying new stuff because you can't just play on 1 and no heat forever.
I do like Nightmare Reaper very much. I love it, but it clearly still is in early access because even though it took me 10 hours to beat it the first time or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know, it doesn't have that refinement. Like, you can tell it's in early access because if you beat the first chapter, it's just like, lol, wait for the second chapter, and you can restart your run. Like, there's no, like, level select or anything, which I find kind of frustrating.
Yeah, from how you talk about it, I still don't fully understand how it works. So are the levels the dreams that you're having?
Yeah, so you're, like, in a mental asylum.
But there is gameplay when you're awake.
So, no, there isn't. So, okay, so I'll kind of describe to you, like, a run of Nightmare Reaper. So, like, you're in the insane asylum.
Yeah.
You can interact with stuff. Every time you beat a level, there's new chapters to read in your doctor's diagnosis of you. You get into bed, and then you can run through a level. You can, like, shoot zombies and go through all these enemies and find secret areas and stuff like that. Much like Doom or a Dusk or a fucking Wolfenstein. There's secret areas and different things on the map and stuff.
Yeah.
It's procedurally generated. You can pick out guns and stuff, and when you finish the level, you keep all the currency. You can keep one gun, and then you go back to the insane asylum and you wake up. Now, the menu in that game is a Game Boy SP, and what you can do is you can go to the skill tree in the Game Boy SP and spend your currency you found in your dream to beat, like, a Mario-esque platforming level to unlock a skill.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the, like, cycle of Nightmare Reapers. Like, you're picking up new guns, you're getting more currency, you're unlocking cooler skills kind of thing.
Okay.
Which I found very engaging.
I feel that. I'm definitely going to get it. I tossed it on my wish list. Like, I'm just kind of running through the games I already have right now, and then I'll grab some.
I think part of the reason why I liked it so much, too, is that, like, I also found it, like, I wouldn't die a lot in levels. Like, when I encountered new bosses and stuff, I'd die. The last boss took me a while to finish just because I had the wrong gun with me.
So there are bosses and stuff.
Yeah, so every few levels, like, there's also, like, different worlds and stuff you go to in Chapter 1. Like, there's towns and mines and forests and stuff.
Is it platformy? Like, are there platform
kind of, yeah.
and stuff like that? Oh,
yeah, there is. A lot of the secrets levels, like, a lot of the secret areas and, like, stuff, currency you can pick up is tied to, like, first-person jumping and stuff like that.
Is it, like, I guess it's not out yet, but I just don't, there's only 400 reviews on Steam. Like, did you hear it from somewhere, or did you just
so
I
I watched a video by Civi11, which is this guy who does a lot of like old shooters and stuff. I think I've showed you his channel before.
Civi showed me this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's Seth. It's from Warhammer. It's Seth Sitsanak. I butchered the name. You'll know it if you watched any one of his videos. You probably have, but he showed me a game called Synthetic, which is another really good roguelite that I forgot about.
Yeah, I'd say get it. I mean, the new expansion is coming out in a couple weeks anyway, so I'm really excited to play that. Like, the end of the year, till the end of the year, I'm probably going to play, like, the new chapter of Nightmare Reaper, probably replay Nightmare Reaper all over again, and then play, like, Cyberpunk, and that's probably it. I think I was waiting for something else, too, unless the nukes fly before Cyberpunk happens.
Yeah, no, like right now I'm playing Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, which I'm having a lot of fun with. And I don't usually like stealth games. It's a really interesting looking game. Yeah. But I'm having a lot of fun with that. I like the time period it's based on. I really like the art style, and I really like how the gameplay is. And just saving real quick, it doesn't really matter if you messed up because it incentivizes trying a bunch of different strategies.
Awesome.
So that's real fun.
I guess that, like, a lot of roguelites don't do that. Like,
stealth roguelites?
No, I mean, like, trying new things. I mean, a lot of them don't because like you're just like I don't want to die, so you don't try new things, or maybe you do. But
Yeah.
Spelunky is definitely not like that. Spelunky 2, getting back to the topic, when I'm playing Spelunky 2 and I just die, what I usually do is I try a lot of like platforming, like see how high I can jump, how far I can jump, or like I discovered that if you take the dog through, you get more health, and like I didn't know that, and a bunch of other stuff like that. Like I feel like in Spelunky, because it's so quick and you can die so easily and stuff, it incentivizes you to like go crazy with stuff.
Yeah.
I also like the chain reactions and stuff. Like I haven't played another roguelike where like one fuck up could lead you like to exploding into something else,
and then you fall down, and then you get punched by the thing, and then you get punched into a turkey, and then the turkey runs over and knocks you off the thing.
And you hit you into spikes.
Yeah, that's happened a lot, and I know that happened in the first game too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't piss you off because you die and you're like, okay, and then you just click next and it starts instantly. There's no loading, there's nothing outside of the game. You just pop in and you're done.
Is Hades like that? Like
Hades is quick. Yeah, Hades is Hades. You can have multiple lives and stuff like that. Like there are actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to mention there is a lot of stuff you can bring into the runs, barring like do more damage to enemies from the front, have more dashes, get a chance to get more boons from this specific tree of characters. Lots of stuff like that. But yeah, Hades is, if you die, you can pretty much start instantly again. There's a little hub area, which is really nice because it has a lot of story. Like, everything's fully voice acted. I'm still encountering new events 40 hours in with different characters. And awesome. I still have a resource that's not being used yet, and I'm sure I maybe could have used it before now, but I still haven't. I have Ambrosia, which I know you like max rank friendship with characters or something, but I still don't have it.
That's cool. I like that. I like that you can like, there's a story here and you have to like talk to people and be friends with them and stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that. The other thing it has is fishing. You can get a fishing rod, and when you go into your runs, you can fish and see little fishing spots like in your runs, and then you can give them to the chef when you're in the main hub area. So that's nice.
Does he make them into
He like gives you extra bonuses and really rare materials and stuff if you do that type of thing, and it's like a little.
I want to play Hades. You play Nightmare Reaper and I'll play Hades. And
I've got it on my wish list. It's only $20 brand new, Nightmare Reaper. $21.79. I'll literally get it when it goes on sale for anything. If you do one thing from listening to this is go and buy Pyre.
Go play Nightmare Reaper and Pyre. So Dan's coming at me because I picked Spelunky 2. We didn't talk about it too much. We talked about a lot of other roguelites, but I mean, it was a good discussion, I think. What do you feel like playing next time, Dan? Because you're gonna pick, or we're gonna like play something or watch something or whatever. Read an online comic. It doesn't matter.
God, you haven't finished Sweet Home, have you? Or did you?
I did finish Sweet Home.
Shit. Okay.
That's another thing we can say. Oh, we could talk about Sweet Home if you want. Like, I'm not for reading it again.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about webcomics that we're reading. We can talk about manga because I'm still reading One Punch Man a ton, and new JoJo books are coming in still.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do like Sweet Home and other
I'd find
weeby books.
Like, have you ever read? Yeah, we could talk about webtoons in general because I've dabbled around reading other stuff on there, but a lot of it isn't really my. A lot of it isn't really my style.
Really, your cup of tea?
No, I've read Hive on there, and
the guy who did Sweet Home on another story anyway too. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're definitely gonna read Sweet Home and talk about a bunch of other stuff then.
Yeah, I'd be down to talk about Sweet Home. It definitely needs to be talked about more.
So that's the end of our first comeback podcast. Shack in the Back podcast.
Shack out back.
Shack out back. So
Shack out back.
We're gonna say goodbye. So, see you next time, everybody.
Yeah, see you next time.
Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jill.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Cheerio.
Goodbye, Jill.
Bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Make
stop the recordings then.
Door creaks close. FX pulls away from cabin.
Slams. Fucking door shut. Wind blows.
I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's stop the recording now.